Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Note to Self. In today's episode, we're diving into the sacred process of awakening, the death, the rebirth, and the beauty that unfolds when we begin to truly remember who we are. I'm joined by the radiant Hailee Down, an energy healer, mind body wellness coach, and the mother of three, whose work bridges the practical and the spiritual. Hailee helps women reconnect to their bodies through mindset work, Reiki healing, and holistic nutrition, bringing harmony to their hormones and confidence to their lives. Together, we explore what it really means to awaken as an empath, to feel deeply, to move through cycles of loss and rebirth, and to transform sensitivity into strength. This conversation is for anyone navigating a spiritual awakening, stepping into their gifts, or learning to trust the wisdom that comes from within. So settle in, open your heart, and join us as we explore the journey of becoming the empath, a path of awakening, remembrance, and radiant transformation. All right, everyone, I am so excited for today's episode because I am introducing you to one of my oldest friends, Hailee Down. Hailee, I'd love it if you could start off by sharing a bit more about yourself. You have an incredible story, and let's just start from the beginning.
Okay, yes. Hi, I'm Haley. I was born and raised in Port Alberni, little Port Alberni, BC, and I am a mom of three. I have a 5-year-old and then two twin or a set of twins that are turning four next week, which is crazy. At a young age, I was a very deep soul. I went to many realms, I feel like, each night specifically. My mom thought I was just kind of this weird kid at first, not weird in a bad way, but just, you know, I had a lot of questions. I talked a lot about the earth. I talked a lot about space. I talked a lot about um, what happens when you die. I asked really deep questions. And so ever since a young age, I was a very deep, deep soul. And now, over the last, I would say, 3 years, my mom says this is all making sense. Um, she herself is very in tune and has gifts. She's a big dreamer. She dreams a lot. So she is a very huge supporter and fully accepts and understands the journey and path that my life has taken me. I felt different. I felt different than others, and I felt like I didn't really fit in all the time, but I would shape shift to fit in just to feel accepted. And it's something that I haven't really admitted to people before because, again, like I'm very adaptable in any environment that I'm in. I will just, make myself fit in if that makes sense. But there became a point where in high school, it wasn't enough. And my journey took me down a path of a death and rebirth. I actually was on my deathbed at one point. And I know this is going deep now, so sorry.
No, hail, no apologies. We are here for it. And I appreciate how much you're sharing because I know from knowing you how incredible your story is and how much empowerment, strength, resiliency is there. And also how deep and how beautiful and how radiant of a soul you are. And I think that what you're sharing, just not feeling like being able to relate to people, so much of this is things that those of us who have gone through big spiritual awakenings, who have had deaths and rebirths in different ways, can all relate to. So just keep going because this is perfect and this is magic. This is what we're here for.
Okay. Yeah, so I had friends in high school, and I was kind of I was the person that was friends with a lot of different groups. I didn't feel like I had that one girlfriend that was that person that you just always were with. I had a few, and Zoe, you were one of them. You were one of my people, which was super amazing. And I almost wish that we both knew our abilities together in that point. I mean, there's always a reason why, but I feel like we would have really understood each other more if we opened up about what we both felt, you know? Um, but anyways, yeah, I was on my deathbed at one point and I was hospitalized for anorexia. And the odd part is when I was in therapy, all these girls that I was around all had huge stories of um, abuse, sexual abuse, this abuse, just things like that. And everyone asked, "What's your story?" Like, and I couldn't answer. I couldn't answer because I grew up in a very loving household. Like I said, I had friends. I wasn't lonely, but there was something more. Something I forgot to mention is at a young age, spirits were coming to me. My mom would find me multiple times in our house downstairs in front of the TV, like the poltergeist, like the
Yes.
TV like that. She would find me in front of the TV like that and be like, there was no remote around. Like it was just the oddest things. We did grow up in a haunted house. So spirits would come to me and I feel, after years of kind of searching to find the answer, like why did I go down that path of needing to abuse my body or go, take control over food. There was a lot of chatter in my head and I didn't know where it was coming from. um and it even goes to when then I'm a young adult and I remember just being like, where is this coming from? Where is this noise, this voice, this chatter coming from? And I was like, oh my gosh, am I like psycho? Like I don't like to use that word, but like is there something seriously wrong? But then it was a point where I started reaching out to like empath groups and things like that and just kind of searching and getting to know what uh what this could be. Um I went through multiple therapies to overcome the control and the uh deep depth of hurt I was going through with this eating disorder. And I actually took myself out of therapy because it wasn't serving its purpose. Because I, again, had no story that I could work with. I just had to work with the feelings that I felt deep inside and learn how to protect myself, which to this day I still am learning. I feel like it's an ongoing learning journey. But in the end, my strength to pull myself out was huge because I ended up continuing this journey and healing myself through different modalities. Hypnosis was a huge thing for me. Talk therapy only took it so far. Everything else was deep within. And I'm now seeing that there's a lot of ancestral trauma that I'm working through. It's not mine, but I'm here to heal it. It's the hard work, but universe, source, whoever you choose to speak to or believe in, brings these souls to earth to truly heal, right? And I don't want my kids to have to continue to heal. I want to heal it for them so that they can live on and they can become healers
That's
for
beautiful,
other
Hailee.
people.
Thank you for
Mm-hmm.
sharing that with us. And it's so incredible to be aware of the ancestral patterns and understand that this is actually real. This is actually a part
Mm-hmm.
of life where we can bring in things that aren't
Mm-hmm.
ours. And I think that a lot of people listening to this podcast might be aware of that or might know that, or might just have the ability to feel different patterns or different heaviness that might present itself in their lives and recognize this doesn't feel like me or this doesn't feel like mine. And in that awareness, you have permission to start to ask yourself, how can I put this down? How can I
Mm-hmm.
alchemize this? How can I draw that line in the sand, break this pattern, and become liberated from it? And there's
Yeah.
such a powerful why. Like, I love that you've shared that you are a mother here so people can relate. Like, that gives such a beautiful and empowering why, is because you don't want these to live on.
Yeah.
And as soon as you break them, the patterns that you've already broken, the lines in the sand that you've already drawn and leapt over, your children do not have to even
Hmm.
touch on that. It's gone. At a quantum level, it completely alchemizes, transforms. It's no longer there. And so I want to acknowledge you for the work that you've already done, but also just expressing that why is we come here to awaken, to do this work, even if it's not ours, but for all the souls that are to come,
Yeah.
all the souls that are to come in the future. We pave a beautiful space for them. We create a beautiful space for them. So thank you for
Yeah.
touching on that. It's a very powerful subject.
Yeah. Thank you.
So when you were on your deathbed, right,
Mhm.
having that intense death and rebirth experience, what do you feel like pulled you through that?
Oh, that's a good question. I didn't feel suicidal. I didn't feel like I wanted to take my life. I didn't feel like any of that was a part of my journey. It's hard because a lot of that memory is just kind of surfacing. Like if I think back to my childhood, it's only been about 3 years ago, maybe four, that I really started remembering different things. I suppressed a lot of it and I forgot a lot of it. I couldn't figure out how my husband could remember things about his childhood. And I'm like, I don't remember that. I don't remember. He would ask me questions. I was like, I don't know. Still, I'm like, I don't know. So that time of life, I believe I was like 15. It's kind of a blur. I did at the time have a very toxic relationship that I was in. It was an older guy. And I feel like I mean, if we're going to go there, I feel like he was almost like a little bit of a parasite and had attached himself to the point where I was going to Children's Hospital. They sped up the process for me because my mom would have to stay up at night to watch to make sure I was still breathing. And so it got to a point where they sped up my process. I got into Children's Hospital, and that male that was in my life didn't want to break up with a 15, 16 year old that was so ill and was going to be away for 6 to 8 months. So I really see him now as this parasite that had attached to me. And I don't know if I did any healing for him or helped him in any way, but I feel like because I'm such a light, that I was giving him light because he has that darkness in him, or had that darkness. I don't associate with this person anymore. So I don't know where he's at. Um, but that was a big part of my journey that I should mention. So when it comes to being on my deathbed, it's all still really a big blur. So I don't really know. I guess the second time around, so after I came back, I finished high school, and then it was a point where my boyfriend, now husband, he was going away for school, and I said, Mom, I want to go to Vancouver with him. And she said no, because I still wasn't fully healed. There was still more healing to do. So I enrolled myself in an adult program. And I said, if I go to this, will you let me go? And then in that adult program, I was helping a lot of those women. Um, and it got to a point where I was just like, I woke up one day and I walked down the stairs and I was like, I'm done. I don't need to be here anymore. Um, I'm healthy. And I ended the program early, and my mom, my family, and everyone was super, super supportive of this. They saw the change in me, but it was almost just like I can't even explain. I just woke up and I was like, I can't be here anymore. I don't need to be here anymore,
I love
you
that,
know?
Hale. Yeah, I have confirmation chills just as they're saying that because we do get to these moments where it's almost like a switch has been flicked. We wake up one
Yes.
day and so much is different. And I
Yeah.
want to share that to plant the seed for everyone that even if you're going through something that feels like the ultimate struggle, or like you're like, how am I ever going to move past this? How am I ever going to get over this breakup? How am I ever going to get over this mountain or become friends with myself or heal this, etc., whatever it
Mhm.
is? there are moments in time that I've experienced, I've seen in clients, I've seen it across the board. And just like you're sharing with us, you can wake up. Just keep
Yeah.
setting the intention for your healing, for your highest timeline, for your greatest outcome, and it will happen. And I love that one. Thank you for sharing everything, Hailee. You are such a light for people. Like, I love that you recognized you're in this program for yourself, but then you also are just there giving and nurturing others in that space. Like, of course you are, because that's who you are at in your nature. And it's almost like your soul was like, oh, we have actually healed this. So that's why we've been in this place of supporting others. And now I'm ready to just own my liberation, be free in the world, and step into my gifts even further and just start to be of service to others. That's what it sounds like. This grand, just like, I made it. I crossed over to the other side. I'm here and I'm here to
Yeah.
support people. I
I
love
love that.
it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So it
Yeah.
sounds like your soul just led you through that. Like it's sometimes those big struggles in life, those moments of death and rebirth, they're just almost a part of our journey as if our soul chose it. Our soul chose us to bring us down into places to see things clearly, to be able to see, even as your example, toxicity in relationships. We have to sometimes go to those levels of extreme discomfort or just chapters that seem kind of dark to be able to get feedback, to be able to
Yeah.
alchemize emotions, to be able to come back out and just say, no more, no more am I going to accept things like that in my life. No longer am I going to be available for relationships like that in my life. And we really have this moment of setting strong energetic precedents. So, what do you feel like when you had that awakening, do you feel like you stepped into for yourself?
I just knew there was an inner knowing of, okay, you're done. You're done this chapter. And then I went on to like kind of the fun phase where, I was living in Vancouver. There was my boyfriend at the time. Um, he I'm just gonna call him my husband because we started dating in what was that, like grade 11. So
Yeah.
him and I. So, anyways, my husband, he was in school. I had 4 jobs to support us. His parents were supporting him as well a little bit, but I was really supporting us. But I had fun. I went downtown a lot and I met a bunch of different people. And then I decided I wanted to help women in a different way, through fitness. And so I then found a career in fitness. And I worked at one of the biggest gyms in BC. And then through there, it brought me through to, okay, let's expand through nutrition. Let's help, with nutrition and fitness. And I want people to feel good in their skin. I want them to, feel strong. I was a power lifter. I did powerlifting competitions. I was this little, like, not even 5 foot person doing competitions, and I hit BC records. Like I was just in my power phase, I would call it my power fun phase. Um, but I would have clients come in to the gym and I would just see them and I would know exactly what was going on, to the point where they're like, how do you know this? I knew that their knee was sore. I knew that, they were having an emotional day and they maybe just needed to go to the office and have a cry. There was times where, clients would just be like, can I just walk on the treadmill and talk to you? Sure. Like it was, I started to see that there was more to what I was offering my clients than just a workout. Um, I was a ball of energy. I am a ball of energy. You know that. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm Energizer Bunny. So it was really fitting for the time of my life. During that time, um, then it started getting heavy. Started getting heavy. Working in a gym was hard. People come into a gym to relieve stress, to relieve anxiety, to relieve. So I then started to notice, my anxiety was heightened. I wasn't as fulfilled and happy. uh, I am someone who does have like perfectionistic personality. So if I wasn't, when you're working in a corporation, you got targets. If I wasn't hitting the targets properly, then I would be really hard on myself. And it was really taking away from what I wanted to offer to my clients. The company that I worked for, they were very kind to me because they saw the light that I brought. I tried to quit multiple times to go and, find like a smaller gym to work out of or do something like that. I continued to want to be in fitness. Um, but they wouldn't let me go. And it's okay because it did serve its purpose. And I thank them for, I built a lot of confidence. I actually, one of my very close friends that I have now, she was my manager who hired me at the time. And she is now in a very similar time of her life that I am in opening up and, spirituality and gifts and all that stuff and the other. So it's really, really neat to see how our journeys they separated for a bit and now they're coming together, which is really neat. But it definitely served a purpose in my life and brought a lot of confidence to me, a lot of knowledge to me. I learned a lot. But that's when I started seeking out empath groups. And I remember getting my first pendulum and coming home and my husband being like, "What is that? What are you doing?" And I honestly didn't really tell him much because I was too scared to. Right. So it wasn't even until like 3 years ago that he knew about, and I still don't think he fully understands me, but knew about what I have deep within.
Yeah, well, that's amazing, Hale. Thank you for sharing that because I think so many people can relate to almost that journey of discovering that you are empathic or the awareness that I'm picking up on emotion. There's starting to be heaviness here, and I feel like it's coming from my surroundings versus my internal world. So when you were waking up and discovering what it means to be empathic or empathy in general, what were the signs? What were the symptoms besides anxiety that you were experiencing?
So those thoughts that I always that I talked about previously, I was starting to know that these were messages for people, because it would come out and they would it, it was more than just messaging, it was guiding, it was intuitive knowing. So I noticed that I would just randomly know how to answer someone or give them advice. I'm that friend that people come to, okay, I need advice about this, or what's your thoughts on this, and I just channel it through. It just comes through. And half the time I'm like, I don't know where that came from, but there you go. Right. So that was one thing I noticed. Yes, there was the more heightened anxiety. And then just feelings in my body. Like I would just get that gut feeling if someone came in and had a really hard day. I'm like, ooh, like I would feel nauseous. There was multiple times in the gym, I'd be working and I'm like, I feel sick. I'm not sick, but I feel sick. Or
Would you,
just, yeah,
oh yeah, so
go
yeah.
ahead.
Um,
Mhm.
would you be able to identify if it was yours or somebody else's? What was that journey like?
So I didn't at first. It was really hard. I actually thought, I'm like, oh my gosh, I always thought something was wrong with me. I'm like, something is wrong. I would get a lot of like stuff going through my heart. Like I remember one time I could not sleep at night and I called my mom and said, "Mom, like my heart is out of my chest. I can literally feel it like almost like I'm holding it in my hands and it's beating." So I would get those really deep feelings and I'm like, there's something going on. Something's wrong with me. So I couldn't identify it. And then it was probably like 2020, 2015 or something like that. I started to, once I had gone to a few of these empath groups, they were like, no, you are feeling, you are feeling. And so then I would be able to start to tell myself, okay, so this is not yours, this is yours. I still to this day have a hard times depending on the scenario. If I'm not grounded or I'm not in that mental capacity to really feel within, is it mine? Is it not? It is a little bit of a battle. I'm still learning. And it more comes down to just slowing down, slowing myself down. Because like I said, I am always going. So if I'm always going, I'm not within. I can't tell if it's mine or if it's someone else's, but I'm getting a lot better. So yeah.
Yeah, I imagine too, as your gifts deepen and your understanding deepens, this is something that I've noticed from my personal journey as well. It's like as the gifts and the awareness expands, it's almost like there's subtle energies that now I've become aware of. So then it's also filtering through the subtle energies. It's almost like as your awareness expands, so does the awareness of the other energies. And so that also gives a bit more of a flood in sometimes. So being able to just sit and clean, something that I do often is just like clean, like literally clean. I know that
Yeah.
you do this too, like brushing energy off your body, recognizing, okay, something has just entered the space, something's entered the chat, and I just need to
Yes.
clean and clear that.
Yes.
And I think this is just what's coming to me to share right now, but something that's really helped me as of lately is like recognizing that because I'm so diligent in cleaning my energy when I first wake up in the morning, like if I enter and leave different places, if something comes in, my default always used to be something's wrong with me. What's wrong with me? Why is
Mm-hmm.
this like here? And as I
Yep.
became more aware of empathy and my ability to feel things, especially being in this world, as you know, being with a coach, interacting with people in all different spaces, going through all different things. Um, it's important to keep cleaning, not like their energy is not good or anything like that, but it's
Yeah.
just when you start to feel with them, when you go to that place of healing with them, you can take things on a little bit very subconsciously. So,
Yes.
yeah, my default always used to be, what's wrong with me? Why am I feeling this heaviness or why am I feeling this flood of anxiety? Um, and now my default is, okay, clean and clear.
Yeah.
And then get in really in tune with my intuition and say, is there something here for me or is there just more clearing to do?
Yeah.
And so I would love to ask you, what are your practices to clean and clear energy, knowing that you are empathic?
Mm. My walks, my
Mm-hmm.
daily walks are huge. Um, that really helps. Breathing, tapping into, I'll get a really big tightness in my stomach and it's so painful. And I know, okay, just stop and breathe. Um, that's really big for me. I'm actually now starting to be more diligent with my practices. Before I would often go, I don't have time. I don't have time. I'm busy. I don't have time. So I would just walk around with it on me and just deal with it and be angry and be, short with people. So I'm really, really trying to be diligent every single day. I like the brushing. I like the shaking. I like dancing. Um, Often after my workout, I'll do a quick little dance just to like shake off even all that energy that comes through, right? Because when you're working out, you're pulling out. I find that I'm pulling out that energy. I'm pulling out things that have been stuck and stored in this. And so it's good to just shake it off, to get rid of it, get primal with it. I used to make my dances pretty because I failed to mention I danced my whole life since I was 2 years old. I continued to dance all the way until I was 22 in a company on the mainland. So that was another chapter. I have so many chapters and layers. It's hard to remember them all. But so dancing's a huge thing for me. Yeah.
I love that. I love all these beautiful examples of, recognizing the energy coming in. How can I literally shake it off? How can
Yeah.
I walk it
Now,
off?
saying that, I know a big thing for me because movement is my thing. I need to sit in stillness more.
Mm, mhm.
That is like a huge hard thing. And I think that this year has been trying to tell me to find more of the balance. Um, so when I say I'm trying to be more diligent, I'm trying to at least sit, and this may sound really small to some of your listeners, for 3 minutes. 3 minutes.
Well,
I'm
you
starting
are a mom
small.
of three, Hale. I feel like that we also have to remember that for a moment that
Yeah.
you are a mother to three beautiful souls that are just so vibrant and full of energy. So it makes sense. 3 minutes is an incredible goal to have, just sitting in
Yeah.
silence with yourself.
Yeah. Not perfect at it. Perfection is not a thing. So I should mention that, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try. Yeah. That's my goal is 3 minutes each day.
Yes. No, I love that. And I love that it's like when it comes to the awareness of, oh, something needs to change or I want to start incorporating something, it's important to set those goals that do feel like, okay, this feels like something that I can definitely fit into my day, that it is achievable, that I can witness myself start to evolve from. And what I've noticed about the meditation journey is it's started like that for me. Oh my gosh, it was so challenging to just sit and be still for a while. But now I'm so drawn to it. I just feel called sometimes in my day to
Yeah.
just go and sit and meditate for half an hour, sometimes up to an hour or more. And I love it. I'm magnetized to it. But it takes breaking through those layers of resistance or starting to practice something completely different. So, wherever you are, if you're listening and you're like, yeah, you know what? I feel inspired by what Hailee just said. 3 minutes sounds like something I would like to incorporate in my life. Do it. 3 minute challenge. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
perfect. Perfect place to start.
I even start my clients off with 1 minute
Yeah.
because we're in such a hustle mentality, right? We're breaking down that mentality. It's not no longer needed. It's so hard on our bodies, our souls. Like I grew up just hustle, 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 and it's something that I'm trying to break down. Actually, I didn't even know I was breaking it down until universe made me. You need to stop hustling. We're going to throw you down to your, can I swear on this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Throw you down, kick you down to your ass. Like you need to stop trying to hustle. So even just 1 minute, put your timer on, put a song on that's only 1 minute. I like to find songs that are 3 minutes because then I know like when that song's over, like just listen to the song. I'm huge with music. You don't need to sit in silence, right? So that's my journey right now for me, my goals for me.
I love it. And I'd love to ask you a bit more about your spiritual awakening journey because now, I mean, previously working with people in fitness, recognizing the gifts starting to present themselves, what has that transition been like for you? I know that there are a variety of modalities that you are a practitioner in. If you could share a bit more about what it was like just knowing, okay, it's time to make that shift. It's time to start answering to my soul and starting to lean into something that may be perceived as very different to a lot of people.
So I would say, well, I'm going to start with I started looking into, I'm trying to think, like probably about 13 years ago. I was like, oh, Reiki. I had never even had it before, but I just wanted to become a Reiki practitioner. So I started looking into it. But, we were living on the mainland. I was working a ton of jobs, and my husband was starting his career. And it just wasn't in our books. And I'm like, okay, that's not going to work. And then we started talking about how, we wanted to have a family. And so then I shut down things down again. I shut it down again because so it was starting to arise, and then I shut it down because my next journey was to build a family. And that didn't come easy for me. Finding out that I can't have kids naturally. So we started the process of fertility treatment, and that's how our family was built. So any of you who are listening, going through a challenging time, trying to get pregnant, trying to start a family, just believe, know, and trust that it's all coming in divine timing. I just wanted to take a moment to say that because it is a huge thing that the world's going through these days. A lot of people are going through that. So once I got pregnant with my first, that is when I started noticing synchronicities, signs. Ladybugs were everywhere. Numbers were coming to me. And I didn't really think too much I mean, I'm like, ooh, ladybugs. Oh, I'm like, okay, but seeing them. So I started looking it up. I really, not being able to get pregnant naturally, really did a number on my mentality. It did. And so I started searching for, not searching, I started being more aware of the signs and the symbols. And I started kind of opening up to reading about them, getting back into that spiritual path. Um, and that's what got me through my fertility journey, was all of that. And then, I had my first, and I wasn't working, and I had planned, to then start my own type of practice, online coaching, and switching that way. But my daughter was born 3 days before lockdown, um, of COVID. So it was just her and I the whole time. During COVID, we lived on the mainland. I only had like a select people that were allowed to even come to my house, anything like that. But it was just me and her throughout the day. And so I had the opportunity to start listening to more podcasts, to start kind of researching things like that. And yeah, I did a lot of Zoom calls with mediums, and like just kind of tapping into like what they have for my future. What are you going to tell me? What are I started being that person that was like living by what they were telling me, if that makes sense. Um, and then I would say my true opening would have been in 2022. I'm going to say 2022. And I think it was around September. Um, I just really had that pull to do my own research, to tap into the feelings that I was getting. And then I thought, okay, I want to expand outside of just fitness. Hypnosis was a huge part of my healing. So I wanted to get certified in hypnosis. I wanted to get certified in NLP and EFT tapping and things like that, different modalities to really bring the practice together. So, yes, we've got movement, we've got nutrition, and we also have the therapies, because I notice a lot of women, not even just women, a lot of people in this world want to hit goals, but they're stuck. They're stuck in limiting beliefs. They're stuck in, old patterns, habits that aren't going to fix themselves if they don't go deep within. Then you're not going to see your results. You're not going to see your goals, because you have so many stuck patterns, habits, energies that are holding you back. You might see a little bit of weight loss here and there, but you're not going to get to where you want to be. And when you get to where you want to be, do you truly love who that person is just because you lost a few pounds on the scale? No, you're not, because you still haven't healed. So I saw that, and I'm like, there's more to this. I don't want to just write programs anymore for people who are not going to be satisfied or happy at the end of the day. Right. So I went deeper. I got certified in those. Well, I think my twins were like a year and a half, and my oldest was, yeah, like just over 2.5 or 2.5 or something like that. And I got certified in that. And then I got drawn into I kept searching Reiki. And I'm like, there's a reason I'm brought back to this. So I found someone in town, and I messaged her and I said, I need you. I need this. And she did my full certification within a week, 2 weekends back to back. I said, no, we're doing this. Boom, boom. I'm going all in. Level 1, level 2, let's go. And I'm even like, okay, when's the next one? Let's go. Let's go. But I walked in to that office to get certified in Reiki, and she looked at me and she said, you're more powerful than you even know. And I said, hi, I'm Hailee. um, and she had me doing energy work on her that the first day. We hadn't even touched anything. She said, I'm just going to lay on the table. And I want you just to try a few things. I fixed her back. I healed her back. I had no idea what I was doing. I had just learned the symbols. So it was really amazing. That right there, those 2 weekends bring me tears because that was my opening. I unzipped and I unlocked a whole lot of power. And the rest is history. It's just been growing, growing, growing. I met that, I think it was the first weekend. I was doing dishes and it was after one of my days and I was doing dishes and I felt all the way around me. You can't see me right now, but what I'm doing is like circling and you could almost probably see my hair. The kids were in the bath. You could probably almost see my hair go. And my Reiki practitioner who certified me, she and friend now, she told me anything that you feel over the next little bit or going forward that feels different, stop and talk. Ask who's there. What purpose do you serve? Well, that day I met my bodyguard, and his name's Kelvin. And Kelvin is someone who allows only light to come through. So when I'm doing sessions, lightness will come through. Any guides, he's the one standing there allowing any guides, spirits, angels, past loved ones to come through to deliver messages. So he's a very special guy to me because he really, I mean, I was open, but then I was open. My mom walked in after bathing the kids, and I said, "You will not believe what just happened." I was like, do we know a Kelvin? Do you know a Kelvin?" Thinking that, you know, guides had to be someone that you really knew or past loved ones. Now finding out after doing a lot more research that they're brought into your life at certain points for a reason, sometimes for a season. But it was really cool. She's like, I have no idea who Calvin is. And I told her, and she was like, and that was the start. And it's
Wow.
grown.
Thank you, Hale. What I love about this is that it started out as a gentle nudge. I believe you said 13 years ago of just like, hey, Reiki, Reiki, Reiki. We can all relate to those little whispers, those little nudges, and it starts to get louder over time. That push or that pull starts to feel stronger over time. And what's amazing is that by the time that you're ready to plunge head first into it, you're like, you were so ready. You were so activated by it. And it just sounds like it really was this moment. You said it felt like you unzipped at this moment where you were actually able to finally see yourself in your gifts and your power. Sounds like there was an awareness that was there over time that these things are happening. I'm starting to
Yeah.
express them and see things differently. And this world is much more multidimensional than I could have expected. And then all of a sudden it was like, yes, here I am. I've arrived into a next level of myself, into being able to own my power, own my strength, and own my gifts on an even greater level. And just having had an experience of a session with you, you are incredibly powerful and you just open up to source and whatever needs to flow
Mhm.
through and whatever that is. Like I remember you speaking light language in our session. I hope it's okay that
Mhm.
I share that, but
Yeah,
it
that's
was
okay.
like you just open up, you create such a beautiful, loving, safe space, but then you open up to whatever needs to come through and those messages. And it's beautiful because you can really see that you allow yourself to be the channel of light for
Yeah.
whatever that person needs. And it's such a gift.
Yeah. And you know what? As you're talking, Zoe, I'm unpacking something here. 13 years ago, maybe even longer, the reason why I did not get certified or life did not let me get certified is because I am able to tap into higher realms, into the 5D, into higher. And if I didn't go through the process of bringing a family to this life, and this has been told through another intuitive to me before, because I asked the intuitive, why was it so hard for me to have kids? Maybe I wasn't meant to have kids. And she did say that, no, you were. And it's all making sense to me now because if I had gotten certified 13, 14 years ago, I would be so far out. I probably wouldn't even be near my family, anyone. And I probably would be so far gone, so not gone, but so far out, not able to bring myself back down to the 3D. My
Hmm.
kids are grounding. And that's what the intuitive said. They ground you, they bring you, they keep you on this earth. And this might sound so out there to people, especially, people who don't really know, who know me, but don't know the depth that I have. That is why I had to bring and build this family through the challenges, through the cries, the tears, even to this day, the challenges of having almost triplets pretty much. Um, but they ground me, they keep me real in this 3D because I can go there. Like you said, I can channel light language. I can channel through the Pleiades. I've met them. Um, and it's really amazing because I went through a period of since I couldn't have kids naturally, maybe I wasn't meant to. Why did I even do this? They're beautiful. I love them. They're great. But as someone who struggled, you tend to think like, is this the right decision that I made? And it is because I see gifts in them, a lot of gifts. All of them are very intuitive. So I'm excited for when they come to me to share and I can guide them through because I'm paving the way.
That is so special, Hailee. They are such beautiful, vibrant souls, and I'm so excited to also hear and learn what their gifts are. And you are such an incredible mother to them, and they are so blessed and lucky to have you, that
Thank you.
safe, loving space and energy that can support them in that way. And it just makes sense. I mean, from this complete conversation of you talking about the patterns, the things that you shed those things and continue to so that they can be free and expressive in exactly who their soul came here to be. And
Mhm.
I think it's so powerful that you two acknowledge the grounding presence and just really locked that in because if I may share personally here, it just reminded me of
Mhm.
my partner. He is so incredibly ground. He came into my life at the perfect time, like so aligned, and he is so grounded, and it is of the greatest support to me that I can't even put it into words because I feel like it keeps me here, if that makes
Mhm.
sense. Like
Yeah.
when you have these gifts, when you can go into the other realms and like you're speaking of, you have these very depthy experiences, sometimes you can go to this existential place of like, wow, like that, wha- what is life? Like the,
It's
I,
bliss. You go
yes.
to like, yeah.
Yeah, you have this greater understanding and these beautiful grounding presences in our lives. Like they keep us here and they keep us in the why. Like, of course, we came here to be human.
Yeah.
There are other parts of this life that we are awakening to and beginning to understand. But when you have these people in your life that keep you connected to the earth in a very
Mhm.
like in the simplest way of expressing it, you then also ground and integrate your gifts, what I would say in a more accelerated, healthy way. Because
Mhm.
as I've spoken about in a previous episode, and I listened to it like with Hailee, I believe that we spoke about on this podcast of like you can go to a place where you can feel depressed or like
Yeah.
existential angst when you go to these other places and you have awareness of the gifts and every all that is you're like, well, make it make sense, there's so many places I can go here. But then these beautiful souls keep us here and understanding like, yeah, we're actually here to enjoy our life and be
Yeah.
human and have love and have experiences and support all the people around us and those are are to come on the earth. And it's beautiful. So I love that you touched on that because you are an incredible mother, and I just can't wait to see who these souls become because of you and the space that you've provided for them.
Thanks though. That means a lot.
Hmm. Yeah. So People listening who have connected with you, how can they find you and reach out to you?
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram at Hailee Down Coaching. And then I also do have a website, is HaileyDown.com. Um, those are the two best ways that you can get a hold of me. Come see, I am shedding a layer this year, which I am stepping fully into my powers and my gifts and owning them without fear, without feeling judgment. And I'm super excited about it because it's really taking me down this path of feeling whole, feeling whole. Yeah.
I love it. And what, if any, final note do you have for our audience today? Anything that's coming through for you to share?
Mm. Okay. Well, I want you to know that, this next little quarter of the year is a very impactful and powerful year. So if there's something that you truly want to step into or you feel called to, I want you to ask yourself this question: what is truly holding you back? Because what if taking that leap and taking that step and shedding that layer is more beautiful than you even know, more powerful than you even know? What if it brings you more opportunity in your life to continue to grow and evolve? So let down that fear, shed that layer. This is the year of the snake. We're all shedding, we're all growing, and we're all evolving.
Thank you so much, Haley. And all of Haley's links will be down below. And I can't wait to have you on again. I feel like there's so many different directions we could have gone today, and this episode was perfect. And I feel like we'll be back here very soon.
Oh, I hope so, because Zoe, I have a lot to say. I love to chat.
Yeah. Well, have a beautiful day, everyone, and thanks for listening. We will be back soon. Bye.
Bye.